live from the fashion capital of the world for sure this week. It's Wearable Electronics with Becky Stern.
Hello, everyone. It's Wednesday, February 18th. We're live at the Adafruit factory. Indeed, there are fashion events happening down the street and up the street and all weekend and all week long.
Everybody at night is dressed super fancy around here, and they're going to restaurants, they're going to parties, they're hanging out. Models are passing out left and right.
It's really good.
It's a party.
It's people watching season.
It's a party.
It's really cold out, so that's extra funny.
Yeah, because a lot of the clothing is not meant for cold weather, and so there's just a lot of people darting in and out of cars.
And falling down while trying to wear challenging shoes when there's a lot of ice on the ground.
It's a little icy. Okay. What do
anyway,
you want to do
today is Mr. Lady Ada himself. Phil, tell us what's on today's show.
Glad you asked. On today's show, Wearable Wednesday, we'll have a hot cup of new.
Yes, that.
Yeah. Material spotlight.
We have more colors of Ninja Flex.
That's right. All the colors of the rainbow.
Not quite yet, but almost.
We're almost, yeah.
Yeah, we'll work on it.
Project Workshop, a new feature.
A new secret segment where we workshop your project ideas.
Yeah. This is like a Project Workshop or something. Oh, that's what it is.
That's what we called this. That's what we called the segment.
And then my favorite part, questions and answers. You have questions, Becky has answers.
If you have questions at any time during the show or a project you would like us to workshop, you can leave it in the comments here or on the Adafruit blog or on our Google Plus page and or on Twitter, and we will queue it up for a future show, making you eligible to win the show's giveaway. What are we giving away today, Phil?
I bet it's a Flora.
It is a Flora. We're giving away a Flora.
Yeah, right on. Okay, all that and more on Wearable, Electronics, Stern, Becky, with dun dun dun.
Is that this rap version or the scat version?
It's like if it's like if
version?
Yoda was an announcer, but didn't have the Yoda thing going on.
That would be cool. I want to watch. I would
Stern
watch
Becky.
a football game commentated by Yoda. I would be into that. Okay, let's get right into it. We have a busy show today.
Yeah, we do.
A lot of fun projects to show you.
First, let's save these folks a buck or two.
Yeah, if you would like to order some supplies for your own wearables project or secret any Adafruit product except for gift certificates and software, you can use code COFFEE for 10% off
Yeah.
your order
That's fair.
today.
All right, so we're just going to jump right in?
Yeah.
Wearable Wednesday.
Yeah. Every week on the Adafruit blog, we showcase the coolest wearables projects from you guys and around the web, and also wearables news. Jessica and Leslie and a bunch of people from the Adafruit team all contribute cool posts. Today, here is a video by Connor Plant, who made an Iron Man arc reactor, kind of like a version or two ahead of our costume arc reactor project, using laser cut acrylic, a Gemma, and a 16 neopixel ring.
Yeah.
And he goes into detail in this video about how he used copper tape to make the connection so that everything is extra slim and lightweight. So be sure to check out the Adafruit blog to learn more about that. He also has this very charming Scottish accent. I could listen to him describe his project for a long time.
If it's not Iron Man, that's clap.
No, that's no. It's more like sophisticated Scottish.
Yeah. You know what I like is
less like Braveheart.
Look, I call him how I see him. So the thing that I kind of like is I think one day people will say, instead of a modern day Tony Stark, they're going to say a modern day Lady Ada, because she is the crazy engineer with all the toys that makes the arc reactors that went to MIT.
Does she? But then the superhero part where then Iron Man goes around and does stuff.
Yeah. Like
flying and.
Yeah, Lamore does that at night.
No wonder she's so tired.
And she has a goatee sometimes.
Is it pink?
Yeah, it's a pink goatee. So we're working on it. Okay. So, more.
This is a game by an Instructables user. It's called Spark Twister, and it uses the Spark core. And what it does is multiple players can you have to try to match colors with your other players that are also wearing the device, and it's a fun game using the Spark core.
I was doing lots of work this morning, and I didn't get a chance to see this. This is really neat.
It looks like Iron Man arc reactor also.
They're making wearable electronic games.
Yeah, and for a long time, we know Kaho Abe's been doing a bunch of gaming stuff at iBeam with Flora and all kinds
this
of.
This is cool. It looks like something you'd want to wear to an event too.
Yeah, and you could play the game at
Okay,
an event.
this next thing is so cute. I'm gonna throw up.
I know, they did a little when I saw it. Leslie posted this. It's the Zipper Bot, and when I saw who made it, I wasn't surprised. It's Adam Witten at the Personal Robotics Group at MIT.
Okay.
This Zipper Bot, and yeah, damn if it isn't cute. it zips and unzips zippers.
This reminds me of did you ever see that movie Batteries Not Included?
No.
Oh my god. It's such a cute movie from like the 80s.
Batteries
Not Included. And these they're cute little aliens that come down and this guy fixes them. It's so cute.
Can we talk about, while the zipper footage rolls, can we talk about my favorite scene in Short Circuit 2, where Johnny Five gets beaten up by those
the evil. Oh no, is it with the evil robot?
No, he turns into the evil.
Right.
He gets beaten up first and like almost like destroyed. Pretty much. His battery's low and he's all like all apart. And then that sales guy, the one who like doesn't know anything about robots, he finds him and is like, oh no, what do we do? And he like with his like barely twitching arm, he like points up off camera, and then it like pans up with like angelic music to the Radio Shack. And then they go inside, and then there's a musical montage of the sales guy and Johnny Five like rebuilding himself into the mohawked like badass one.
Okay, so we're gonna trade. You're gonna watch Batteries Not Included. I barely remember that because I only saw it once when I was a kid.
It's Short Circuit 2 that happens in.
Was Steve Guttenberg still in it?
Yeah.
A return appearance.
Yeah.
Steve Guttenberg. Remember when I remember when every movie had Steve Guttenberg in it.
Well,
it was the Gutenberg era.
It's really good.
Okay.
That's my favorite, and it's my most favorite memory of Radio Shack, perhaps also.
Okay. Well, speaking of Steve Guttenberg, not really. You can get chipped.
Yeah. So there's this big Swedish office park that's offering elective chipping surgery, RFID implantation. It's optional. It's just if you want to, they'll do it for you. It's this gigantic office complex called Epicenter in Sweden, and you can it'll. Just like we have badges here to swipe in to places, or you probably do at your office, you can just put that chip in your hand, and it's exactly the same technology, and they can attach that code to the door locks, and you can even pay for lunch.
Yeah, I remember one of my first big articles at Make was talking about the biohacking people that were doing this.
Yeah.
And boy, did I get a lot of internet hate, because they're like, what are you doing? And then I got people saying that we should stop writing about it, that we shouldn't cover it, telling me not to do it, and now it doesn't seem like it's such a big deal.
Not that big of a deal. I mean, like everybody's pets are chipped now, and like it's an elective. Like you don't have to do it. It's just an option, and if you can take it out, it's removable. It's just a little glass.
Yeah, remember when the people started putting like little magnets in their fingers?
I think that's still weirder than this.
Yeah, I think
the magnet stuff, because it's like an additional function besides.
You want another sense.
Yeah, that's. I don't know
this is just an additional functionality.
Yeah.
Okay. Right.
All poses. I can't do some of this stuff because I am going to have an MRI at some point in my life.
Yeah, and then like the magnetic.
And you can't have like metal in you because it'll all get sucked out.
Yeah.
Anyway, I think that's cool. I'm into it.
Except, I sent this one to you this morning. But
yes.
Did you already have it?
Yeah. No.
Okay. Ooh.
I didn't.
Yay.
Phil sent me a blog tip. It's this 3D printed bow tie that you can download on Thingiverse. It looks really nice. So it prints it like flat, and then you like cinch the middle together.
I like that it's futury looking.
It's
like every futury movie has like what the futury fashion is going to be like.
I think it's also a little bit like 80s Devo, but which is kind of retro future. I don't know. It's cool.
Okay, what's this?
You know, what do I wear to the ball? Oh, I only have a 3D printer. Oh,
what will I do? Me, make me.
I wonder how long it takes to print. Probably like an hour and a half. So like, it's I don't know. Anyway, in recent news, this is a photo from the Brooklyn Fashion Design Accelerator, which is an entity affiliated with Pratt over in the old Pfizer building in Brooklyn. That's like this big space where it's like an incubator. They have designers that work out of there who are launching their businesses. They also do short production runs for designers who need fewer than 200 pieces sewn, or also they do knitwear. They have a couple big computerized knitting machines. And they just had an exhibition. So we went there. Leslie was there. We took some pictures. They had some chromat stuff. They had some laser cut garments. They had some of our.
This is my favorite. When you send me photos after an event that looks like this, that's my favorite.
This is some of this is what our mannequin looked like. She's real chill. That's what I look like on the weekend.
Yeah.
Just like that.
Yeah, look at you. Yeah. You're doing your thing.
My drone's hat.
Okay, and then there's something else there too.
The Stego Spike hoodie was there. Leslie was excited to touch it because she hadn't before, and the spikes are nice and flexible.
Yeah. Yeah, you can fall on those spikes; they won't hurt you.
No, you could do like parkour, rolling.
You can. You'd be totally okay.
Yeah, I don't know that the LEDs would be, but you would be fine. Anyway, and so they were giving like docent tours of the exhibition, and they had some lecture series to go with it. It was pretty cool, well curated event. Lots of other cool wearables were there. New York Times wrote an article about the show.
Okay. All right. Well, shout out to everybody who helped get the Adafruit stuff there.
Yeah.
Thank you. That was nice.
So it was nice to see Leslie. Leslie's not in the audience today, but I'll say hi to her anyway. She'll watch the show later.
Okay.
So you can learn more about that show on the Adafruit blog.
Okay. This is probably why the code was coffee.
Yes, this is why the code is coffee. Today's project has to do with coffee, but I don't want to spoil it for you. We'll just watch the video while I drink this coffee.
Latte.
Today we're brewing up a cup of sound. This is a white noise machine made using the Adafruit Audio FX board. It's useful for capturing that productive feeling you get working from a bustling cafe without the hassle of, going outside.
That sounds good.
You can get all the parts for this project in the shop on the Adafruit site, and the complete step-by-step tutorial is at the link in the description. The 16 megabyte version of the Audio FX board can hold up to 30 minutes of mono Ogg Vorbis audio, so I used Audacity to modify and save my sound file before loading it up. The audio board shows up like a flash drive when you plug it into the computer. We wired the output up to this separate audio amplifier so we could add a handy volume knob. The LiPoly backpack allows for easy USB recharging, and we thought an illuminated power button would look nice. Use stranded wire and heat shrink tubing on the potentiometer and quick connect wires on the power switch leads, and wire everything up on the PermaProto according to the circuit diagram. Cut holes in the paper cup for the power button, potentiometer, and the USB port, and carefully mount everything inside. Here you go, Colin.
Oh, finally. Now I can get back to work on my novel.
Thanks so much for watching, and subscribe for more audio projects from Adafruit.
All right, that's a cool project. This is something that we talked about a long time ago, and now it has been brought to life because the products that we have made are now here.
Yes.
Yeah, this is a cool. I think we exchanged some emails about that study that came out that people work better when they have ambient coffee sounds.
We have a lot of times we have project ideas that are been fermenting.
Yeah.
Just like I like pickled things. The best ideas sometimes are pickled for a little while.
Yeah, it's one of the people here at Adafruit had fermented shark. I found out. She just walked by.
It's gross. I wouldn't try it. If it grossed out Anthony Bourdain, I don't know that I could. I would eat the fuzzy tofu that in Nepal where the fuzz was like that tall.
Cool.
I would totally eat that, but the fermented shark. Anyway, so this is cool because you can carry around, like if you had, okay, let me back up. You don't have to use the external amp and the potentiometer. This is just so that we can have a volume knob. And if you wanted to be concealed, you could just use the amp version of the Audio FX board and just carry around the cup with you if you wanted like a personal boombox, in the Halloween parade.
I want a personal boombox.
And you want it to look like you were drinking a coffee or any other beverage in a closed container like this. And that's cool because it's nice and portable.
Any sound inside of this, so it can be screaming your name in advance for the coffee.
You could put it in. You could put it on someone's doorstep and playing like their favorite song, like a love note or something.
Yeah. When I make that great American
with a box of real donuts.
When I write that great American novel, I'm gonna get my writing desk. And I'm gonna get a special typewriter, and I'm gonna get this, and I'm gonna think I'm in a coffee shop.
Yeah.
That's what I'm gonna do.
Because who wants to lug your typewriter to the coffee shop? Anyway,
I don't.
You can load whatever sound you want on it. Great for costumes and props, and it's just a nice battery-powered, all-in-one, on-repeat sound player.
Yeah, and you got a little diagram here.
Yeah, so it's a little like it has a bunch of parts. So and like features and upgrades that we did that are kind of optional for you if you wanted to simplify the project. You could. The Audio FX board has the LiPoly backpack on it that allows it to boost up a 3.7 volt LiPoly battery to 5 volts for this whole circuit, and also recharge over USB, and it just like sits right on top, so it's like a little mini sandwich. The illuminated push button is cool because it hooks into the LiPoly backpack and then also has separate leads to the LED inside, so that it's going to turn on the white LED when the power is connected.
That's cool.
We used quick connects for our arcade buttons to connect the power button because because it connects on from the outside of the cup.
Yeah.
So like things make it easier to build, but you can kind of like pare it down to whatever you have. Okay. You don't have to put all the bells and whistles.
You can make a little one, a little espresso, a little tiny little.
Yeah, little. You can put it in a little cortado cup with the little paper wings. You know the little.
Hey, it's coffee.
That would be actually cute to make a whole little family of these.
Yeah.
But you can also just make it a regular speaker if you want. If you just use the amp and like an audio jack, you could make it as a portable battery-powered speaker for like the beach or something. And then this keeps like the dirt and stuff out of it, but it's also not that precious, so you can recycle it for another project later.
Yeah. Okay. Great project. Good work.
Thanks.
Okay.
Does
You
the
could
lady need a
save
special
enough money to
request?
buy yourself a cup of coffee. Just use the code coffee.
You could. Coffee,
10%
coffee,
off.
coffee, 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 coffee,
Okay.
coffee.
Let's keep moving. Material spotlight. This is exciting.
Love coffee.
Ninja Flex. So it's Fender drives,
Yeah.
but Ninja Flex is kind of the brand that came out. We kind of helped them like establish themselves on the
Sure,
scene.
they were like a belts and drives,
Yeah.
like rubber company that was making belts and drives
Yeah.
of very, like rubbers of very specific
Yeah.
sizes, shapes, lengths, and physical properties and stretchiness and stuff like that.
Yeah, and then they made squishy 3D printed stuff, and we sell a, I would say reels of it.
Did you say it's rolling out the door?
It's
Phil?
rolling out the door. It is. We have that video on our site. The rolls. You saw that?
Yeah, I know, it's really
Yeah,
nice.
okay. All right. So anyways, I got more.
They're launching more colors, yeah. So you
is
can
cool.
you can make your weird little baby doll out of
Yeah.
Ninja Flex and make it have like semi-realistic skin tone.
Yeah, they're trying to, I think, have stuff for people who may want to do all sorts of humanoid, robotic-y looking things.
I think that's pretty cool and weird and
Yeah.
nice.
All right. You could save money off that.
On Ninja Flex, you can 10% off all that Ninja Flex.
Yeah. Okay. New segment. Big deal. Big deal.
It's a big deal. The new segment is called Project Workshop. It's basically a long question where I would take your project idea. Maybe you have a concept for a project and you don't know where to start and you want some advice. Maybe you're just starting a project and you need to rethink a bunch of things on it and you need some help. This is what this is. Maybe you're a design student and you want me to sanity check your idea. You can. It's basically just a long question.
Okay.
So you can ask me a long question in the comments, and I'll put it in this segment.
Let's
And
jump
I'll
to it.
still put you in the giveaway if you submit a project idea too.
Okay. It's from Teresa Roberts. Okay, so I know that this is not really a new product anymore, but I have a question. I have a project with RGB lights. I'm using a LilyPad mainboard and Atmega 328 to program the LED for which color I want the light to turn. When the light turns a specific color, I'd like to do it a certain sound effect for the different colors. Can't figure out if it's possible to wire the FX soundboard to the LilyPad, so I don't want to have to push any buttons. The LilyPads are positive, but FX works on ground wires, or is there another board that would work for me? Also, this is a costume, so it needs to be small and easy to hide. Thank you, Teresa.
That sounds like a fun project. So I can imagine it's kind of like Leslie did that Close Encounters of the Third Kind hat, where it was changing colors and making the.
This means something.
But that wasn't using the audio effects board.
Yeah.
Yes, Teresa, it's pretty easy. So your LilyPad's input-output pins don't always have to be set high to activate things. They can also be set low. So here's a picture of the audio FX board and all those buttons wired to ground. Yes, indeed, they do need to connect to ground. But if you, in your code, you can go to the next slide. In your code,
That's
you
my
just
cue to go to the code slide.
yeah, you just go to your you use the digital write function built into Arduino, and you digital write that pin low, and you connect that pin to your the trigger pin on your audio FX board. So the LilyPad's good. It has enough, I think, IOs to set off like what do you probably have like 6, 7, 8 pins available to you, depending on how many you're using for your RGB LED.
Yeah.
You can wire as many of those as you have outputs left over to the audio effects board, get that many sounds out of it, and input the digital write low for in every place in the code where you also want to trigger a sound.
Yeah. But wait, there's more.
Just don't forget to set it back high after about 50 or 60 milliseconds after you've triggered the sound, so that it's not like it's being continually depressed.
Yeah. But we also have a permutation, an alteration.
Yeah, this is not exactly what you're looking for. And I realize now, I was like, once I did this project, this is like the 4th audio board project that I've done. And I was like, oh, maybe I can take a break from the audio projects for a hot second. But no, this question she's asking, we don't have the tutorial where like Trinket or Flora triggers the audio FX board.
All new.
So we got to do that.
That's all new.
But it's not hard. I swear, it's just digital write low. Wait 60 milliseconds, digital write high, and you got it. But Phil B did a really nice guide for a costume-specific audio effects project. We're using the RF remote,
Yeah.
a simpler project that still doesn't require an external microcontroller to remotely trigger the audio effects board, which is also really fun and something you might want to look at just as another project that uses the audio effects board.
Okay.
When you, for maybe, smallarizing your project and that kind of thing. So be sure to let us know how it turns out, and would love to post about your project.
All right. Return to smallerize. It's happened in 2 shows. It's an official word. Notify Webster's. The code is coffee.
The code is coffee.
Yeah.
You can get 10% off all the supplies you need to make your own costume audio project.
Yeah. Question and answer time. This is a big deal every week. Anyone in the world can ask questions, but I guess the big question that I have is how and where did they do this?
Anywhere where you're seeing this video, basically, you can leave a comment
Really?
on the blog, on the YouTube site, the YouTube video, the Google Plus event for the show, the Adafruit blog, or on Twitter to me or Adafruit.
Yeah. So I'm going to just drop some knowledge. Technically, you could be watching this on a Chromecast or like an Apple TV because we're on YouTube and all that stuff. Sony has a patent for a process in which the commercial will not go away until you scream the brand name. So one day in the future, this might violate the patent, but you could scream, "Hey Becky, I want to know if I can watch this wearable."
How do I watch it?
Yeah, and so one day that might be something.
You might just have to scream "Tide" at the screen. Oh, that's really weird.
Yeah, but they have a patent for that. Way to set the world on fire, Sonny.
Whoa.
Okay, this is from Mike Meyer. I'm glad he's doing electronics now. Okay, hi Becky. I have a bag full of motor rotor and
Multi-rotor.
Motor rotor. What the heck is a multi-rotor? 6 and 7 millimeter motors that I'd like to recycle into projects using some of the Arduino compatible wearable microcontroller boards that can be powered by a 1S LiPo. I don't know.
Like one cell, probably.
One cell, yeah.
Even though
they draw too much power to be safely driven from those boards, but the 298 driver boards I find are all 5 volt and more motors. Do you know if those will safely drive motor normally driven by 3.3 and 4.2 volts? If not, can you recommend an H-bridge driver for those purposes, preferably one that will work with 3 volt logic used for the microcontroller boards?
It's a cool idea to reuse like quadcopter motors for wearables. Like I immediately thought of like shoulder blades with propellers on them.
Yeah.
And there was that like, was it Philip Tracy had the Persistence of Vision hat?
Yeah.
With the Moritz Waldemar LEDs on it.
Yeah. On our blog. We have it on our blog. It's
so
cool.
you can make like all kinds of cool movement stuff. And I asked Lady Ada about this because I don't know jack about motors and stuff like this. So she recommended Pololu products. Are you ready for it?
Yeah.
Write this down. 2130, 2135, and 2990.
Okay.
As some cool motor drivers that might work with what you've got.
Okay. Let's keep going.
Happy, joy.
All right, yet another question about a project, and I guess all wearables. How does water affect them? I know you can wash them by just removing the battery, but how do things like sweat and rain work? Assuming you have made sure the battery itself is protected, if this hoodie got soaked in a downpour, does a conductive thread not suffer any shorting issues, etc.?
Okay, so we're going to take it back a little bit. We're going to take it back. We're going to take it back to how electricity works.
But you're over here.
It's not about wearables. It's just about electricity. So pure water is not conductive. Most water is not pure water. It has a lot of dissolved solids in it, like salts and minerals, like tap water, rainwater, all of that kind of water. So water on planet Earth, except for distilled water in a laboratory, is all conductive.
Yeah.
And so when the circuit, and there's 2 states of the circuit. There's the circuit is on, the circuit is off. So if the circuit is off, no electrons are currently traveling or doing any work in the circuit.
Just hanging out.
They're all just hanging out.
Yeah.
So if the circuit gets wet when it's off, i.e. the battery is disconnected or the battery is insulated and off, nothing bad happens to the components. The electrons aren't going to, yes, they can travel freely wherever they want. They could do that before. There's no potential energy driving electrons through the circuit. All good. That's what happens when you wash it. That's what happens if it's off while it rains or you sweat on it. So that's why we recommend for this project you to turn it off and protect the battery if you get stuck in a rainstorm. That's because when the power is on and conductive water touches the circuit, the uninsulated conductive thread traces, it does short and allow electrons to skip around doing the work that they were going to do in the LEDs and instead create heat and a short circuit and shut the circuit down. So you can't short a circuit while it's on and expect it to work, and that's what sweating and rain would do if the circuit is on. However, that's why we say don't get the battery pack wet. If the battery pack gets wet, it's shorted inside itself, and it's just going to get hot and cause you problems. So does that make sense?
Yeah. Also, probably why we say use like stainless steel thread. That way, there's no oxidation and all that stuff.
Right. But that's a different issue.
Yeah, it's a different issue.
Yeah, a different issue altogether. So when it's going to get wet, turn the battery off and protect the battery from getting wet. That goes for whether you're washing it or you're outside in the rain. And if you want more tips on making your project weather resistant, you can watch our video about ruggedizing your wearable projects, including like covering LED strip in clear nail polish and using silicone adhesive. But conductor thread projects are never.
Moving right along. Here we go. Hi, Becky. Appreciate you taking time. While I have your attention, I have a few questions. Can I use a Gemma for most simple LED projects? Sparkle skirt, creating friendship bracelets, creating a purse that sparkles, or a t-shirt that sparkles, since Gemma is a cheaper version than Flora, and I have kids working with them. If a Gemma can power most wearables, if that's not too complicated, I'd rather buy a bunch of Gemmas instead of Floras. Can a Gemma power just a 1 neopixel ring or strip, or can they power more than one? If so, how many before it maxes out?
So here's the cool thing. We have a video called Gemma versus Flora. Which one should I use?
Gemma versus Flora.
And and it highlights the exact differences. What sensors Flora can use that Gemma can't use. For instance, the accelerometer, I2C accelerometer, can't be used with Gemma, has to be used with Flora. So that's the sparkle skirt right there. However, you can use the same random. Oh, the fire alarm is beeping.
Oh yeah, we're doing our expansion, and so while we're doing this,
construction is happening. While I answer this question, Phil's going to stop the beeping. And Gemma, however, is capable of running all of the same NeoPixel code. You can only limited by the amount of RAM on the Gemma, so that's like 100 or so NeoPixels. And you can run random flashing code that doesn't use any sensors using the Gemma easily. And that is what I recommend for working with a bunch of children. If you're going for volume, Gemma is really great. It's very fully featured. However, there is a reason that we have a Flora. It's because it's capable of a lot more things than Gemma. And I would like you to look up that video, please.
Okay.
Maybe we should have just played it. We don't have that much time left. So.
No, we don't have
Gemma
enough time.
versus Flora on the Adafruit YouTube channel.
We must keep going.
Yeah.
Time is a fire we're burning in. Okay.
No, don't make a fire joke about the.
No,
everything is normal.
No. So we can tell everybody. So Adafruit's expanding.
Yeah, we're going next door.
We have basically 2 floors and 30,000 square feet, but we have to tie all the stuff together. So occasionally
we're doing electrical work next door, and the fire alarm.
Yeah. The ground fault, because we have to unconnect it for a minute. Okay. Hi, Becky. I have a question. Is it possible to add Bluetooth module to the Flora or Gemma and control neopixels on my shirt through an Android app?
Gee, that's a great question. I think I'll ask the man who took this photo.
Where is he? Can I go get him?
It's you.
Oh, I was going to go get him. I thought he sat over there. Yeah, this is the prototype. We have a Bluefruit Flora coming soon.
Yeah, it's a Bluefruit module for Flora. Right now, you technically can use our Bluefruit low energy module with Flora with a little bit of free wiring, and use the iOS app to send UART messages from your phone to the Flora. We're making a special Bluefruit Flora module that does that a little more, make the connections a little easier.
Android app is in Google Play right now. I think it's pending. It'll probably be up soon.
So I'm really excited about that because I'm an Android user, and so you'll see me be more willing to jump on board with projects like that work with Android, because I'm able to test it at home. Because we live with our wearables projects. You have to live with them in order to recommend best practices to others, and so I just don't whenever I hold that the work iPhone, I feel like I'm gonna break it. Maybe we need to put it in a giant case.
Yes, I can just give you an iPad, which is like a giant iPhone.
Now that I have that giant phone,
it's cover it with Nerf. Nerf phone.
I break phones. In case you guys didn't notice.
All right.
You guys didn't know that.
Luckily, they make billions of them, billions and billions.
I know. I don't like that they make them so fragile because I'm so klutzy that I drop it on the floor all the time.
I can rebuild them, make them stronger.
Says Phil with a drawer full of iPhones.
I do. Let's give something away.
Okay.
It is time.
I have a hat full of people.
So you take all the questions and you print them out and you fold them and you put them in a hat and then you draw one lucky winner.
Yes, and the Project Workshop asker is in here too. So don't be afraid. Any question you ask, long or short, if I answer it on the show, you will be eligible to win the Flora giveaway. I'm not trying to shaft anybody here on their chances of winning a free Flora.
No one's getting shafted. No one even implied
This is an entirely random giveaway based on the questions that we asked on today's show, answered on today's show. And Fagan, your question about how water affects wearables has won you a Flora. Congratulations. You can claim your prize by emailing support@adafruit.com. I'll also try to reach out to you on YouTube where you asked your question.
Okay, well.
If you didn't win, is that what you were going to say?
No. I was going to say, okay, well.
You can get 10% off your order by using code COFFEE and get 10% off everything but EagleCAD and gift certificates.
Yeah. Okay.
For your own wearables project.
People that are hungry for more, what could they do?
I want to see your wearables projects on the show and tell. That's tonight at 7:30. If you're not in our Google Plus circle, go leave a comment and ask to be added, and then you'll be invited every week to show off your own projects on the Google Plus Hangout show and tell, followed by Ask an Engineer at 8 o'clock tonight with Mr. Lady Ada and Mrs. Lady Ada.
Yeah. We also have a guide on learn.adafruit.com that has a complete how-to on how to get on the show and tell.
We're sorry that it's not simpler. It's really, once you like get deep into Google Plus, it doesn't sound complicated to us anymore, but I realize that to newcomers, it sounds a little complicated.
Yeah, it's a powerful tool.
Live video chat, we need to make sure everything's legit.
These are really powerful tools that you we don't and we wouldn't and we can't spam people. So you actually have to say I want to be on the show and tell.
Yeah, it's really fun though. Like cool way to get your I think it's very heartwarming that everybody shows up and it's all.
Some of our best hires came from people we met on the show and tell.
Yeah, so if you want to work at Adafruit, the best thing you can do is show up on show and tell all the time.
Yeah. All right. And then what's tomorrow?
Tomorrow is 3D Thursday, so there's the 3D Thursday Hangout with Noah and Pedro. You can learn lots of cool stuff. They always talk about a project. They give you some CAD tips and a live demo of some crazy CAD techniques, so I always learn something. And
they have a Autodesk Ember, the new resin printer. I sent it to them. I got one, and I sent it to them.
Yeah,
they're probably going to be showing it tomorrow.
I saw it on their Instagram.
Premiere. I don't think anyone's made videos of this thing yet.
No, I haven't. I hadn't seen it.
Okay. Well, that's the show, Bex.
Cool. Thanks for watching, guys. Remember, if you have questions or projects, leave them for me in the comments here on Twitter or Google Plus or on the Adafruit blog, and I will queue them up for a future show. I love answering your questions. It's actually one of my favorite things about the show.
All right.
And next week, we have a bow tie project.
Yeah. And for all the folks out there watching in faraway places, happy Chinese New Year. It's going to be happening tonight. Year of the Sheep. Lucky.
Ooh. Not as lucky as the year of the golden pig.
It's not going to be bad. All right. We'll see everybody.
Terrible.
I waited
Thanks for watching. Have a nice week.
Show to do that. Bye-bye.